Specific to ICE, I think it's interesting. I didn't even realize this until we sat back and really took a look at it. But we, for a long time, Ellie Mae, was what everyone was striving to emulate. And Ellie Mae was a great organization. It's changed a lot since the shift into ICE. But when we looked at our organization, it was funny that we kind of had a big contingent of Ellie Mae leadership that are now part of the MeridianLink organization. Myself and JP Kelly actually came from Open Close. So we sold Open Close to MeridianLink at the end of 2022 and took over leadership of the combined mortgage vertical. Jonathan Core, who was the former CEO and president of Ellie Mae, has joined our board of directors about 6 or 8 months ago. Megan Pulliam, who's the head of marketplace for Ellie Mae, runs marketplace for MeridianLink. I mentioned Troy Kojalo earlier. David Wazorek, interesting. He was going to UCLA to get his PhD or get his master's in physics and mathematics. Had planned to go get his PhD. Apparently, when you get into a PhD program in physics, you're placed based on national ranking, and he was only ranked number 7 in the country. So he took an internship at MeridianLink to try and figure out his next move. That was 19 years ago. He's a legit genius. He's the best DevOps guy I've ever been around, and he has responsibility over the entirety of the mortgage tech vertical. And then you look at some of the people on our sales team in the middle here: Tom Milligan, Chad Carpenter, Ed Racino, Reza, all top 5, top 10 people at one point in the Ellie Mae sales organization. And then I kind of bookend this with Erin Conrad, who leads our services organization. I've said many times, it's one thing to select a system, it's another thing to implement it. Her job is to make sure that our customers are successfully and confidently and happily implemented, which her team does over and over and over again. And then Kathy Olson runs our ongoing support and customer service organization. So why lenders know the ICE age is over. So, what we're hearing from the customers that we're taking off of Encompass, they're seeing high operational costs. That's leading to high origination costs. So, that goes into multiple FTE to technical administration to support it, the inefficiency of the speed of the system, the one user at a time and a single loan at a time, and not being able to access multiple loans simultaneously and action multiple loans simultaneously. The increased burden on relying on marketplace partners because components of it are weak. The most lenders you talk to, they'll tell you that Consumer Connect is weak, TPO Connect is weak, so they end up bolting in third-party systems that perform better, but obviously push their overall cost up dramatically. And then the lack of innovation. There's been, for 10, 12 plus years, there's been the promise of ongoing innovation, and still haven't delivered innovation to the extent that the price point warrants. In terms of why lenders are choosing MeridianLink, our lower costs, lower per loan costs. And I'm not going to say that we're dramatically lower. I mean, we're in a similar range. Certainly, if we have a digital point of sale that's far superior to Consumer Connect that will provide some cost benefit. We have a proprietary PPE that's very strong. Again, provides cost lift, price lift. But our system is very easy to maintain and administer. And most customers, regardless of size, do not have to have a full-time administrator committed to running the system. Usually the administrators are people that have other responsibilities within the department and are augmenting the administration along with their other responsibilities. Um, Unified workflows. Our system has a very advanced workflow automation rules engine, automated tasking engine, no code custom screen designer. So it allows customers, regardless of channel, to customize workflow specific to their organization and isolate those workflows by channel. So it doesn't matter if they're consumer direct, distributive retail, wholesale, non-del correspondent, delegated correspondent. They can configure specified workflows by channel to fulfill the production the way they deliver to the market. And then lastly, it kind of leans in on the easy administration. David uses a term called purpose built for lender innovation. He saw early on that customers need to have the control to self-innovate on the system, and whether that's openness of an API and webhook infrastructure, whether it's exposing everything from an administrative perspective and making that customer facing so that the customer can self-innovate on the platform, again, not waiting for the vendor, not spending money on expensive SOWs. They can self-innovate, immediately take advantage of opportunities. So a few customer testimonies. The last one is kind of funny. That was a clip from when they announced to their users why they were moving to MeridianLink and off of Encompass, and it kind of doubled down on how slow the system is. I mean, we hear people tell us that they can wait up to 2 to 3 minutes to access the first loan of the day, and then up to 90 seconds to navigate between loans. That's not everything in our system is instantaneous. They can pop, open 5 different loans at the same time in 5 different browser tabs instantaneously. So, that time of waiting for the system to load, a loan to download, check it back in, getting into your next loan, you equate that into actual FTE spend. It's expensive. I mean, you lose a ton. Customers are losing a ton of money and burnt resources just by waiting for the system to respond.